Welcome to the deep dive. We've got quite a bit to get through today. Lots of interesting stuff happening in endurance sports.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at tech, nutrition, training insights, basically everything geared towards helping you level up.
Exactly. We've sifted through a load of sources. A quick heads up, a lot of the updates we'll touch on were highlighted over on the 5K Runner, the5runner.com, which is just a fantastic resource.
Absolutely. Great site.
Okay, so let's dive in. First up, some new cycling tech. DESFIT on YouTube had a look at the new Zip 303 SW wheels.
Ah, yes, the ones with the integrated tire pressure sensors.
That's the one. The big news is Zip basically built Tire Whiz tech right into the rim. No more, extra sensors stuck on the valve.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. The integration is seamless. You get the pressure data live on your handlebars through the SRAM AXS app,
And there's even a little LED indicator on the rim itself for a quick visual check.
which is super handy. Think about it. You can make sure your pressure is dialed in perfectly for whatever road or trail you're on.
Totally. And for you, the athlete, the potential benefit is, well, better performance, right? Keeping that pressure optimal means potentially lower rolling resistance, better handling,
Especially when you're hitting different surfaces like road than gravel. It just takes the guesswork out.
and those pre-ride checks. So much easier without needing a separate gauge every single time.
Right. It's that kind of smart tech that can actually make a difference. Better handling, more confidence in corners, maybe even faster overall. That real-time feedback helps you learn what pressure actually works best for you in different conditions.
Okay, let's dig into the specs a bit. The 303 SW is designed to be pretty versatile. Good for road optimized for 35mm tires, but it can handle 30 up to 44mm.
And gravel, cyclocross. It covers a lot of bases.
It's a hookless rim design too,
Yeah.
a 40mm deep, 25mm internal width, 33 external. Pretty standard modern dimensions.
Yeah, and Zip worked with Goodyear on specific tires for these, the Vector RZ30 SWS, though apparently mounting them can be a little tight.
Huh? Yeah. DESFIT mentioned maybe needing tire levers or even pliers. Good to know. Their center lock disc come with XDR or Shimano driver bodies. Can't be sold separately as usual.
Advertised weight around 1,440 grams, which is respectable.
The sensor itself runs on a CR2032 battery, the common coin cell, and you need a specific tubeless valve lined up just right.
Ah, okay. And sealant. Any issues there?
They recommend using an injection tool or maybe adding sealant before the bead is fully seated, just to avoid gumming up the sensor mechanism.
Makes sense.
And if you flat, you can use a standard tube to get home, which is good. But obviously, no pressure sensing then. They are apparently working on a tube with the sensor valve built in.
Interesting.
Zip also claims the rim shape helps prevent pinch flats, and they offer a lifetime warranty, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, that warranty's a big plus. Overall, that versatility seems like the main draw.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about keeping our gear going. The 5K runner reported that Koros has launched a repair program.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. This is for the US and Europe initially, right? UK coming soon.
Exactly. It covers models like the Pace 3, Apex 2, Vertix 2S, the DRA, quite a few of their recent watches.
And the idea is it's a more affordable way to fix common issues like batteries or screens.
Precisely. Instead of having to buy a whole new watch, if your battery life tanks or you crack the screen or damage a button, you can get it fixed or exchanged for less.
That's a really good move. The key benefit for you, the athlete, is pretty clear. Extends the life of your extensive tech.
And it's an exchange program, so they send you a refurbished replacement, which comes with a 1-year warranty. Should be faster than waiting for a repair, too.
Plus, it's, better for the planet, repairing and reusing instead of just replacing.
For sure. The process sounds straightforward. Online request, they send a prepaid label, you pick a refurbished unit.
And the costs seem reasonable.
Yeah, it depends on the model and the fix. Like $59 to $89 for a battery, $79 to $119 for screen or button issues. You send your broken one back, they ship the replacement.
Gotcha. And someone in the comments on that article apparently pointed out the value of Chorus's software updates, too.
Yeah, saying how those updates also help extend the watch's useful life, unlike maybe some other brands. A fair point about long-term value.
Definitely. Okay, what's next?
Let's talk about Strava and leaderboards. Again, from the 5K runner, Strava's taking steps to kick cars off the segments.
Ha, the KOM hunters rejoice. Or maybe despair, depending.
Huh. Yeah, they've rolled out an AI model, the Cars on Segments model. It's designed to automatically spot and remove activities that look like they got a lift from a vehicle.
Okay, this is a big deal for leaderboard integrity. The benefit is obvious. Fairer, more accurate rankings that reflect actual human effort.
Right. It
Yeah.
gives you a more reliable benchmark for how you stack up against others.
So how does this AI work? Is it just looking at speed?
It's more complex than that. It calculates, get this, 57 different features from the activity data.
57. Wow. Like what?
Things like velocity, acceleration, even the rate of change of acceleration, what physicists call jerk. Also stuff like average VAM on climbs, how gradient affects momentum.
Okay, so it's looking for patterns that just don't look like a person's cycling or running.
Exactly. They even use something called the Cendric's coefficient, apparently based on how a really fast staff cyclist accelerates and fatigues to help distinguish human from motor vehicle.
That's clever. And they're using explainable AI.
Yeah, XAI, using SHAP values. It helps them see which of those 57 features are most strongly indicating car. It's not just a black box decision.
Which is good, so it assigns a probability.
Right, a score from 0 to 1. If it's above a certain threshold, the activity gets flagged before it even appears on the public leaderboard.
Ah, proactive. And the user gets notified.
Yep, prompted to either crop the dodgy part out or just make the whole activity private.
Seems fair. How effective is it?
They trained it on tens of thousands of activities and claim it catches about 81% of the vehicle-assisted ones. It uses gradient-boosted decision trees, XGBoost, for the tech heads.
Okay, 81% is pretty good, though not perfect.
No, and they plan future models for stuff like misclassified activities, bike rides logged as runs, and e-bikes showing up on regular leaderboards. Those might even be applied retrospectively.
That would clean things up significantly.
They've already removed something like 4.45 million activities from top 10 spots.
Oh, that's a lot of questionable efforts.
Tell me about it. Though one reader did comment that they've still seen flagged activities appear sometimes, so maybe there are still a few wrinkles in how Strava handles the flags.
Always teething problems with new systems, I guess.
Right. Okay, switching focus now. Sleep tracking. Looks like Garmin might finally be making a Whoop competitor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The screenless band rumor, the 5K runner, confirmed it.
Seems that way, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Garmin is apparently developing a screenless band specifically for sleep tracking, directly targeting Whoop and Aura.
Interesting. So ditching the watch at night for something smaller?
That seems to be the idea. A dedicated device, less bulky, maybe fewer distractions from notifications or bright screens during the night.
The benefit being purely focused, detailed sleep data, which we know is just crucial for recovery.
Absolutely. Better recovery insights, potentially better performance. The band itself is rumored to have a vibration alarm,
Mm-hmm.
tap gestures for snooze dismiss, and LED indicators for battery status. Green for charged, red for needs juice. Simple stuff.
And they're calling it a smart device. Does that mean sensors?
It strongly implies an optical sensor, yeah. Probably their latest Elevate Gen 5, possibly tracking temperature and SpO2 as well. And a key feature mentioned is a smart wake alarm.
Ah, so using sleep stage tracking to wake you up optimally within a window, like Aura and Whoop.
That's the likely implication, yes.
Yeah.
Waking you in a lighter sleep stage so you feel less groggy.
Okay, that could be a compelling package if they get it right.
Definitely one to watch. Now, sticking with Garmin, some news that, well, it might not be quite as exciting for current Garmin owners.
Uh-oh, what's this?
DC Rainmaker got clarification on the new features announced with the Forerunner 970. And the bottom line is, those new features are not coming to existing models, like the Forerunner 265, 965, Phoenix 7 Pro, or Epix Pro series.
Ouch. So new software features are being tied strictly to new hardware again.
It certainly looks that way. It seems like a shift back towards that model where major new functionalities require buying the latest watch.
That's disappointing for people who recently bought a high-end Garmin. The key insight here is that if you want the absolute latest metrics, you might need to upgrade sooner than you thought.
Exactly. It really could influence your next purchase decision if you were banking on getting those features via a software update.
And people aren't happy about it, I assume.
No, reading the comments, there's definitely frustration from owners of recent expensive watches like the 965 or Epix Pro, feeling a bit burned maybe.
Understandable. It raises concerns about Garmin prioritizing new sales over supporting recent devices, which could hurt loyalty long-term.
Yeah. And some of these new features like running tolerance and step speed loss actually require the new HRM 600 chest strap anyway.
Ah, okay, so there's a hardware component limitation too.
For some, yes, but others seem purely software-based. Whether they might trickle down eventually, who knows? There's speculation maybe tied to future hardware or even a potential Connect Plus subscription down the line.
Interesting times. Have users mentioned switching brands?
Some comments mention considering Apple or Coros because of these update policies. It is worth noting, though, that Garmin's regular firmware updates are continuing. And one small feature, breathing variations, apparently is coming to the Phoenix 7.
So it's not a complete feature freeze, but the big new stuff seems reserved for the 970 and presumably the upcoming Phoenix 8.
That seems to be the picture. It's also often mentioned that the edge cycling computer team at Garmin seems better at backporting features than the watch team.
Yeah, that's a common observation. Okay, let's move on to something maybe more universally applicable, HRV.
Yes, heart rate variability. The 5K runner had a really thorough piece on this. It breaks down what HRV is essentially, a way to measure stress non-invasively, and compares how Garmin, WOPE, and Aura track and interpret it.
And the crucial point they emphasize is,
It's all about relative changes within your normal range, not chasing absolute high numbers, and definitely not falling for the simplistic higher is always better idea.
absolutely critical. Understanding HRV properly helps you use your wearable data much more effectively for gauging recovery, stress, and training readiness.
It stops you from just blindly following a single readiness score that might not tell the whole story.
So quick recap, HRV reflects beat-to-beat variation influenced by the autonomic nervous system. More parasympathetic activity, generally higher HRV, often linked to recovery. Stress pushes sympathetic activity, usually lowering HRV.
Right, and most wearables now use all-night HRV data, which is generally better than short samples. Aura, WAKR, Garmin all do this.
But the gold standard for consistency is still considered.
Manual morning readings, using a chest strap and a dedicated app like HRV for training, taken under controlled conditions.
Right. And how do the wearables stack up against, say, an ECG?
The article mentioned comparisons showing they all tend to slightly overestimate HRV. Aura was perhaps a bit closer, WABA maybe a bit noisier or more variable.
Mm-hmm. And Garmin's resting heart rate calculation got some criticism.
Yeah, because it uses the lowest 30-minute average in the last 24 hours, it might miss sharp, acute changes in your status right before you wake up, for example.
So the main takeaway for athletes using these devices.
Focus on your trends. Look for deviations from your established normal range. That's where the meaningful insights are, signaling responses to training, illness, travel, whatever stressors.
And don't just assume higher is better. Very high HRV can sometimes pop up when your body's working really hard to recover after a massive effort.
Exactly. And those combined readiness scores can be tricky because they often mix up your body's response with the training load itself.
Good point. So for serious analysis, maybe stick to the raw HRV trend within your baseline. Morning chest strap readings still best for precision.
Seems to be the consensus for top-tier accuracy. Okay, let's switch to fueling. Triathlete magazine had a piece on metabolic testing for triathletes.
Ah, understanding your fat and carb burning, always important for endurance.
Definitely. The article explains why it's useful and outlines 3 main ways to get this info.
The key benefit being,
Getting insights into how your body uses fuel at different intensities. This lets you target your training zones better, like finding your fat max, and really nail your nutrition strategy for training and race day.
makes sense. What are the 3 methods they discussed?
First is the gold standard, lab testing. Using a metabolic cart to measure oxygen consumption and CO2 production, often combined with blood lactate testing. Super accurate.
But also expensive and maybe less frequent, right?
Yeah, recommended maybe 1-3 times a year, costing around $200 to $500 a pop.
Okay, method 2.
Metabolic simulation software. They mentioned AeroTune as an example. It uses data from lots of lab tests to estimate your metabolic profile based on power data you provide. Cheaper, maybe $25 a month, allows for more frequent checks.
Interesting, kind of a virtual lab test. And the third,
The most basic and repeatable. Using your power duration curve. Doing max efforts for, say, 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 20 minutes on the bike.
the classic Sufferfest testing protocol.
Pretty much. You compare your results to established charts, like Andy Coggin's power profile chart, to see the relative strength of your different energy systems. The cost, maybe a Red Bull and some serious willpower.
Yeah. So 3 different ways to get a handle on whether you're more diesel engine or high-octane sprinter and how to train each system.
Exactly. It helps quantify things and guide your training intensities for specific adaptations.
Good overview. Now, sticking with efficiency, what about Garmin's new running economy metric? The 5K runner covered this too.
Yes, another new Garmin metric. This one aims to measure the energy cost of running at a steady sub-maximal pace. Lower numbers are better, meaning more efficient.
Okay, so like VO2 measured in the field but expressed differently. traditionally it's oxygen consumption in ml/kg-min.
Garmin's using ml/kg/away, so the energy cost per kilometer normalized for body weight.
And the benefit is getting a field-based estimate of your running efficiency, which is a huge factor in endurance performance.
That's the idea. It can help you understand how efficiently you run and track improvements from training, maybe shoe changes, that sort of thing.
What goes into Garmin's calculation? Is it just pace and heart rate?
No, it's more complex. It uses heart rate, speed, but also running dynamics, data stride length, ground contact time, vertical oscillation, and the new step speed loss metric.
Ah, so it requires the HRM600 strap and a compatible watch like the Forerunner 970.
Correct. And you need a few runs under your belt over 30 minutes each for it to generate an initial estimate. It excludes indoor, trail, and runs with pack weight.
Okay. Does Garmin suggest how to improve it?
They mention factors like genetics, but also trainable things. They suggest increasing mileage, strength training, and doing sprints. Standard advice, really.
Right. How validated is this metric? Have they compared it to lab measurements?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
As far as we know, there's no published validation against lab-based VO2 measurements yet. So its accuracy and actual actionability are still a bit uncertain.
So interesting metric, but maybe take it with a grain of salt for now until there's more data.
Probably wise. It's viewable in Connect and as a watch glance. But yeah, the jury's still out on how precise it is.
Gotcha. And linked to this, there's also running tolerance.
Yes, another new one from Garmin, focused on injury prevention. The 5K runner explained this too. It's designed to help you avoid risky training patterns by quantifying impact load.
Okay, so trying to measure the actual stress on your joints and tissues from running?
Kind of, yeah. The benefit is providing guidance for safely managing your training volume, balancing injury risk with performance gains.
How does it quantify this impact load?
It calculates an equivalent mileage for each run based on your weight, speed, intensity, and running dynamics. Plus, it accounts for hills.
Equivalent mileage. Interesting. So downhill running counts for more impact.
Exactly. They estimate walking is about half the impact of easy running, but downhill running could be up to 3 times the impact.
Wow. Okay. That makes sense intuitively. So what are the key metrics it shows you?
2 main ones. Acute impact load, which reflects the weighted impact of your recent runs, your sort of daily capacity. And tolerance, which is the max acute load your body seems able to handle based on your history, adjusted weekly.
Right. And if your acute load exceeds your tolerance...
Caution flag goes up. Consistently overreaching increases injury risk, but challenging training can gradually increase your tolerance over time.
So it's a dynamic measure of your capacity versus your recent load. Again, needs the HRM 600 and 970.
Seems so. The raw data for the calculation comes from the strap, likely on Phoenix 8.2, but probably not older watches.
It sounds potentially useful, not as a bragging metric, but for monitoring yourself during hard training blocks.
Yeah, exactly. A tool to help you decide whether to push through or back off a bit.
Okay, and the final piece of this new Garmin metric puzzle is step speed loss, or SSL.
That's right. The 5K runner detailed this one too. It's measured by the HRM 600 and shown on watches like the 970. It quantifies how much your forward speed decreases while your foot is on the ground. Lower is better.
So it's basically measuring horizontal braking force.
Pretty much, yeah. The benefit is getting insight into that specific aspect of your running form efficiency. Potentially something you can work on to improve.
How's it measured exactly?
It's the difference between your forward speed at initial contact and your minimum forward speed during stance, measured in subasis of the chest.
And what influences it? Cadence, overstriding.
Both. Lower cadence tends to increase SSL, and so does overstriding. More braking means you need more propulsive effort to get back up to speed.
So smoother, lighter stride, maybe shorter steps could improve it.
That's the theory. It's adjusted for hills, lower SSL uphill, higher downhill, not calculated on treadmills or wall walking, and needs steady forward motion.
Gotcha. Is there a normalized version?
Yes. Step speed loss percent, SSL percent, which accounts for your pace. That's the recommended one to look at.
How does it relate to, say, strides metrics like leg spring stiffness?
It's different. LSS is more about vertical force and displacement. SSL is purely about that loss of horizontal speed during ground contact.
Right. And again, needs the new hardware. Does Garmin give guidance on good SSL values?
They have a color-coded chart, good, okay, bad, but no specific target numbers or detailed improvement advice yet. Pure comparison data would be helpful there.
True. And this SSL is a key input for their running economy metric, you said.
Yes, it's one of the crucial running dynamics metrics feeding into that RE calculation. So while maybe not the most critical metric on its own for everyone, it's important for Garmin's overall efficiency picture.
Makes sense. Could be interesting to test different foot strikes and see how it changes your SSL.
Definitely. Okay, shifting away from individual metrics to platform news. Strava's been busy acquiring companies.
Yeah, first Runna and now the Breakaway cycling app. Saw that on the 5K Runner and Pulse Points.
Exactly. The Breakaway was incubated by Y Combinator. Seems focused on cycling training.
So Strava is clearly looking to bolster its training features, especially for subscribers.
Seems like the strategy. Integrating the Breakaway's tools could offer more sophisticated cycling guidance within Strava.
What kind of tools does Breakaway have?
Details are a bit sparse, but it sounds like advanced training components, maybe some overlap with Wahoo System PS10 Zert, that kind of thing, but packaged uniquely.
Aimed at keeping subscribers sticky, no doubt, and they'll
Right.
integrate it slowly.
Yeah, expected to be at arm's length initially, similar to Runna.
Okay. What about hardware comparisons? Did the quantified scientist look at the new WWOPE strap?
He did. Compare the WWOPE Strap MG, which is likely the sensor in the 5.0 against the 4.0, focused on heart rate accuracy during weightlifting and one run.
One run, injury.
Yeah, unfortunately. So the running data is limited, but the key benefit is seeing if the new sensor offers accuracy improvements.
And the verdict, especially for weightlifting, which is notoriously tricky for wrist HR.
Well, during weightlifting, both WP straps showed significant inaccuracies and dropouts compared to an Apple Watch, which also had issues during high intensity.
So chest straps still king for weights.
Pretty much what he concluded. ECG straps are just more reliable for that kind of activity.
In the running comparison.
The limited run data hinted that the MG might be slightly more accurate than the 4.0, but it's very preliminary.
Okay. Do the sensors look different physically?
Apparently not much. The layout is similar, so any difference could be internal sensor upgrades or maybe firmware tweaks.
Gotcha. Did he mention anything else?
Yeah, expressed some disappointment that features like health span are exclusive to the 5.0, feeling they could likely run on the 4.0 hardware too.
Ah, the feature dating question again?
Exactly. He encouraged listeners who've upgraded to share their experiences.
Fair enough. And any news from Aura?
Yes. PulsePoint's #55 reported Aura pushed out updates to improve activity tracking.
Oh, good. What specifically?
They're claiming better accuracy, like 61% fewer step counting errors. Workout detection is now 247, which is good for shift workers.
And calorie estimates?
Improvements there too, plus new third-party integrations. And crucially, Apple HealthKit and Health Connect data can now populate into the Aura app.
Oh, that's handy. A more unified view. So better activity data overall contributes to that bigger picture of training load and recovery.
Precisely. More reliable inputs.
Okay. What about Polar? Any updates there?
Their subscription fitness program, the Adaptive Training Plans, has expanded. PulsePoints mentioned it's now on iOS and available fully in the US.
Ah, good. It was Europe and Android only before, right?
Yeah. So now more accessible. Offers structured science-based plans.
And the cost?
About $9 US per month with a 14-day free trial. Or equivalent in pound zeros.
Okay. A few more quick tech updates. Say, sir.
Yeah. The Watch Face platform face are updated for Wear OS 6's new Watch Face Push feature. Basically ensures seamless syncing of third-party faces.
Good for customization fans. Keeps things working smoothly.
And some hardware rumors. Samsung.
More leaks suggesting the Galaxy Watch 8 series will bring back the Classic line, possibly mixing Watch 6 Classic and Watch Ultra design elements, expected this summer.
Could be interesting new options there. And Amazfit.
Zepp Health, their parent company, hinted at 2 new watches in their earnings call, maybe a Balance 2 and a T-Rex 3 refresh.
So more choices coming from Amazfit too.
Looks like it.
And finally, the Apple Watch camera rumor. Still dead.
Seems so. Pulse Points reported the project is shelved again, despite some internal work on concepts. Camera-equipped AirPods are still apparently in the works, though.
Right, so no wrist-based FaceTime anytime soon.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, wow. That was a lot to cover. As we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear things are moving fast in endurance sports tech and training.
Definitely. We're seeing much smarter sensors, like in those zip wheels, giving real-time data, more focus on platform integrity from Strava. And these incredibly detailed metrics from Garmin, trying to quantify efficiency and injury risk.
Plus ongoing competition in wearables with dedicated sleep trackers and constant software updates trying to provide more value.
Yeah, the overarching theme seems to be getting more granular, more personalized data, moving beyond just tracking what you did to understanding how you did it and how your body responded.
Absolutely. So for you listening, the question is, which of these developments really resonates with your training?
Yeah.
Is it the real-time bike tech, the new running metrics, better sleep tracking, or maybe just keeping your current gear running longer with repair options?
And this flood of data brings up a really crucial point to think about, doesn't it? With all this sophisticated tracking and guidance, how do you strike that balance? How do you blend these data-driven insights with your own intuition, your own feel for your body, that experience you've built up?
That's the key challenge, isn't it? Using the data as a powerful tool, but not
Comes from integrated experience. Definitely check out the 5K Runner, the5runner.com, and the other sources for more detail on all this.
for sure. Lots to mull over. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep training smart, and listen to your body as well as your tech.